If you've heard of the leadership concept, start with why, and you're not really sure exactly how to use it in your life, this episode today is for you. Welcome back to another episode of the Leaderful Inc. podcast, the place to be if you want to lead big in unprecedented times. Today, we're talking about one of the most referred to leadership philosophies out there right now, and it's by Simon Sinek. It's this concept of starting with why. Many years ago, almost a decade ago, there was a viral video of Simon Sinek doing this TED Talk called Start With Why, and later a book we could all digest and unpack. It's an amazing talk. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it in the comments on this video. Let me briefly summarize what the concept is about and why I think it's such a powerful concept when it comes to leading your team, but also in the relationships that you have in your life. The Start With Why philosophy suggests that companies, organizations can be incredibly impactful if they start from a place of why to inspire belief and to move others to action or to encourage somebody to buy their product. It involves understanding the deeper motivations, the values, the purpose of a particular organization or entity versus just communicating on the what and the how somebody delivers a product or service. It's so much more powerful when you move somebody with your purpose, your values, your mission as a way to inspire action versus going right to the what and right to the how. It creates more of a deeper sense of belonging. It's why people are attracted to work at specific organizations. It's why your brands are your favorite brands. It's not just about what they sell, it's about what they stand for. Companies work like that, but also people work that way too. So the philosophy itself then encourages leaders to think about their own why that they bring into their team or how they lead organizations. Understanding and living your why really shows up in how you communicate, in the way that you spend time with your team, in the things that you really establish as cultural norms or rituals or things that you deem important. The why is really at the core and center of that. I really love this concept of start with why when it comes to leading within my work life and leading my team, but it's amazing to me how I've started to apply it to other relationships in my life, to my marriage, to my friendships, and even to my family and how I raise my kids. In the same way that I have a team that I work with and we're trying to get to complete the greater mission of the company, my own team is me and my husband in our marriage, me, my husband and our kids and our family is one unit, me and my kids parent to child is one unit. So I actually have a different way that I use this for different areas of my life. Before I get to share with you how this shows up outside of work and in my personal relationships, I want to give you some places you can start to look as it relates to unpacking your own why. Imagine being able to communicate in a really effective and powerful way and inspire people to action. It's really going to come from having a clear understanding of what your why is and know that you can pour that into all the things that you do. Where do we start? Our past has the clues. Your past experiences, both the things that are incredibly fulfilling for you, rewarding, things that you celebrate as highlights of your life are a place to look to, but also the areas where you were at your lowest of lows, feeling drained, feeling like you just weren't fulfilled in what you're doing. Both of them are indicators of potentially where your why is. Certainly the things that called you and drew you and lifted you up are things that you should steer towards. And the things that did completely the opposite are things that you should move away from. Those past experiences could be when you helped somebody in need. It could be when you traveled the world and were able to discover a new place. It could be something totally different than what I just shared with you. The point is, start to take inventory of the things that were really incredible, powerful memories for you and the things that made you say, yuck, I never want to do this again. Another part of understanding your why is identifying what your values are. Once you look back at your past experiences, you're going to actually be able to look at what are the values that are starting to show up as important to you. If one of the highlights of your life was traveling to a place you'd never been, you're probably somebody that really values adventure and exploring something new. If the highlights of your life were around a time that you helped people, maybe a value is your sense of duty or care that you have for others. Start to look at what those experiences are telling you about the things that you value and hold true. By understanding your values, you can really determine what it is that you want to stand for and how your values that you hold close are going to show up in other areas of your life. When it comes to understanding your why, discovering your strengths, what you're naturally good at, gifted at, that's another place that's going to lead some clues. What do others compliment you on? What do they say, wow, nobody can do this like you do it? Where do you truly feel that you excel and can bring value in any room? Your strengths and combination of strengths are really unique to you, and they can be clues of how you have an opportunity to contribute and bring something into the world. So once you've identified your strengths, think about how those also inform your why. So putting it all together, you've got your past experiences, you've got your values, you've got your strengths. What do they have in common? Where are you seeing that they overlap? Together, the combination of those things might be pointing you to a higher purpose or really clearly showing you how you are meant to show up for others. I promise you the clues are there. Lay them out on the page. I'm going to give you some examples through my own why of how this shows up for me in my marriage, in how I parent, and how we run our family together. Some of my past peak experiences have been times in my life where I have been able to help others, help people grow. I've really valued experiences where I myself have been able to grow and stretch. So it's no secret that when it comes to my marriage and how me and my husband finally came together, our values are very aligned. We both have a sense of growth as a key value of ours. We both have a sense of duty in terms of how we care for others in our lives. And we're very aligned to these being top values, which makes us a really good match. This why is also helpful in terms of how we plan our lives and things that we know are going to keep us together. We really enjoy having projects that we can work on together and grow through together. We enjoy being able to support each other in our own pursuits. They really align closely to these values of growth and to these values of duty. As we raise our kids, we also need to think about what our why was for building that family unit. What are the values for how we raise our children? What do we want them to experience? What are our goals that we have for them as they grow up and grow together? What are the goals that we have for them as they grow up? Understanding our why can help us be more intentional in how we approach parenting, the things that we want to enroll them in, how we spend our time together as a family, what do we start to create as the rituals. Those all come from having a sense of why for the family and being aligned in our values as a family unit. Some of the experiences that were the most negative in our life were also really helpful deciding how do we want to raise our children? How can we avoid them being in a situation where they feel a sense of shame or embarrassment, or they grow to be so attached to their grades and there's a sense of perfectionism? How do we park those things aside? What do we need to do as a family to ensure there's a sense of honesty and trust and they can be free to be themselves and express themselves no matter how they're feeling? My past experiences and my husband's pointed us to there for our family. It really comes in handy as life gets busy, as our kids get older. These are the type of things that will help us to say no to decisions that we have to make, help us set boundaries for them and for ourselves. And it all comes back to a greater understanding of what our why is and how strongly our beliefs are going to help guide them in their lives. We don't want to be the type of parents that make rules just for the sake of rules or say no for the sake of saying no. If we're really clear in articulating to them why, it makes our job so much easier. There are endless ways we can do any number of things. There's always going to be a long list of things to assign to your team or to ask your partner to do, or some rules maybe that you're going to want your kids to follow. But if we can lead and start with why, it will inspire understanding, it will get people aligned to the same goals, and it'll give people a chance to really rally onto your idea and be true believers, be advocates, be team members in a meaningful way. I really love this concept, and I hope you will go and do some exploration. Go check out the book. Go check out Simon's great YouTube on this particular topic. There's so much we can learn, and it's a topic that's going to be around for a long time. So start with why. Hope this was helpful. We'll see you in the next episode.